Hello, Sagittarius North Node. Welcome to your 3-month reading for September, October, November 2022. This is Samara, your feminist alchemist, and it is a general reading, so messages will not apply to everyone. Just take what resonates and leave the rest to whoever else in your Sagittarius North Node family needs to hear that message at this time. If you are feeling this reading, give it a like, a thumbs up. Do subscribe to this channel so that I can better connect to your energy in the readings, and click the bell to be notified when I upload. Reminder that this is a North Node reading. I do not read for any other placements. If you're not sure what your North Node sign is, there is a link in the description box to my website where you can look up your birthday, and it will tell you where the North Node was at that time. You could also run your birth chart if you are so inclined. What else do you need to know? If you're new to my channel, welcome. So in this format, I use a spread that was given to me by my guides for this, specifically for reading for the North Node. So I do the universal energies first, and each rung of the spiral, let's say, I will timestamp it so that you could always come back and review it later on, or if you don't watch this video in one sitting, you can come back and pick up where you left off. So we have the universal energies on the outside, and then the next row we have the 5D, messages from your higher self, your expanded self. Then we have the 3D, what opportunities are showing up in your life as catalysts for your expansion. Then we have another circle of guidance of how to bridge the 3D and the 5D. This month, every month, I do a different kind of, let's say, last round. And this month, the last round will be alchemy. So what energies you are alchemizing at this time or in the next 3 months. And then we do the final oracles. So that is how it goes. And without further ado, I will get started. The North Node is all about your soul's path, fated life versus your destiny, and how to better align with, well, it denotes what your soul wants to experience in this lifetime. So there's also a link in the description box for that, how my guides described the North Node to me. Okay, let me just get quiet, get what cards need to come out. You have a lot of the same colors coming out right now is the first thing I noticed. Should I take all 3 of those cards? So 3 cards flew, but I don't know which one they want me to take. Okay. Let's go through all of these. I just realized. So this is Egyptian Eagle. And we have renewal. And vibration. And creation. So a lot of darker colors to start off with. So I'm feeling a lot of energy in the lower 3 chakras. Root, sacral, solar plexus. I've heard some people separate the sacral from the navel. Like they count it as two, which is interesting, but that's just a side note. I feel like that's a minority of people. But is it wrong? I don't know. It may be something, in the future that we start discovering and interpreting as two different energy points. But anyway, that's a side note. What I'm feeling here is a lot of how you adorn yourself in the world. Like when I see these two together, I see very lacy fabric. Egyptian eagle is giving you the opportunity to release as well and see things from a higher perspective, see yourself from a higher perspective. But this is really, the next 3 months is really a time to release a lot of stuck energy, especially from your lower 3 chakras. And the renewal card comes in to me saying that you can now adorn yourself however you like. Refresh your spirit, see yourself more authentically, more pure, with more loving and compassionate eyes, because you have, it's time for you to understand how to harness your vibration, and to understand that your vibration is affecting how you experience life. And that learning allows you to access this power of creation, that you can create the life and reality as you desire. Now, I know that was like a quick overarching energy overview, but it feels very clear to me that in the next 3 months, you have the opportunity to significantly change the quality of your life and how you experience life, if you so desire. It's a very opportune time for you. So I'm going to take the next few cards from, where am I putting this? Here? Yeah. From 2 different decks. If you've been to this style of reading from me before, you know I usually use the Sacred Geometry alone, but I'm also using Dreams of Gaia because I feel a lot of messages coming from our Earth Mother at this time as loving and nurturing support. I'm going to turn the camera down in a moment. Just let me get the last card for this 5D rung. That's where we are now. Okay, let me turn it this way a little bit. There we go. Okay, so we have romantic love. And when I look at the renewal card, the first impression I get is romance because of the kind of, it looks like black lace to me. So I feel that you have the opportunity in the next 3 months to really revive and refresh if you're in a relationship, the relationship you're in. And if you're single and looking, but have had the rocky past, that has made you kind of, let's say, wary of romantic love. That has the opportunity to transform in the next 3 months. The frequency of romantic love supports our journey to feel whole and complete through the experience with and reflection of a conscious lover. So I'm feeling that number one, you may be looking at the mirrors that you experienced through your past relationships. You may notice patterns of the type of people you're with, the type of situations you experienced, the type of conflicts that you may have had, and the reason why the relationships didn't work out. You may start to see patterns as we move through this, also this Egyptian eagle energy. And you do have the opportunity to now transition, to learn from all that and transition. This applies to also if you are in a relationship and you guys seem stuck or stagnant. You can be learning from your intimacy with one another, how to grow on a spiritual level, what it means to be more accepting and compassionate, and to really see each other through the eyes of love and see yourself through the eyes of love. Some of you may be especially challenged by someone who truly adores you and it makes you realize how much you have not adored yourself in the past or up to now. And that's where the opportunity for transition comes in. If you're single and not looking, there's still things you can learn from your past relationships in the next 3 months that will strengthen your sense of self and your knowing of yourself and allow you to heal some things, even if that healing is not with the intention of eventually having a partner. So take that as it resonates. Transition, the frequency of transition supports our deep understanding of the ever-changing nature of existence and our lives so that we can learn to let go, surrender to the process, and allow transition to occur with ease and grace. Now, you'll have the ability, an opportunity to tap into seeing things from a higher perspective so that you can ease the transition from one chapter of your life to another. They're telling me that the transitions that each of you are going through are varied. It could vary widely. However, a lot of the learning about yourself will come from looking at your most intimate relationships. So don't shy away from looking at relationships, especially those relationships where you still blame the other person, or you low-key, or not so low-key, blame yourself for what happened or how it ended. If you're in a relationship, there's great potential for growing together. The 7 of Water it feels very much about going with the flow in this particular deck. So it's not a typical 7 of Cups where you have lots of different options to choose from. This is more about relinquishing control and going with the flow of life. Because at this point in particular, you are being guided to where you have to go next. And in contrast to kind of the opening energy of the reading, this card is saying you actually have less control over the actual future than you think you do. But you definitely have control of how you experience it. One of the reasons why you have less control than you think is because your soul, some of you are far off track from your soul's North Node trajectory in this Sagittarius North Node group. Some of you are quite off, are going in the wrong direction. What's wrong? But you're off course, and the course needs to be changed dramatically and quite quickly. So those things are these transitions are going to happen. They're going to happen. In the next 3 months, you have the ability to basically create you get to decide how you experience it. Let's put it that way. So it can be a very daunting and troubling experience, or it could be a very freeing and exciting experience, with some bumps nevertheless, but you can see the bigger picture and know that everything is necessary. You have the Six of Earth, which is the Six of Pentacles. I'm hearing reaping what you sow. And yes, and you also have the ability to choose how you experience reaping what you sow. So because of the romantic love thing, I feel some of you have karma to clear, or clearing some last karma. But what's important is that you understand it as just something that you need to complete, something you need to go through, as opposed to some punishment due to your character or you being unlovable or unworthy, right? Understand that sometimes, especially in deeply spiritual partnerships, whether they are short meetings or longer relationships, understand that it's there. Sometimes you're also working out karma that you've had in a past life with somebody, or they've made a soul contract, an agreement with you to take you through a certain emotional experience for, at a certain stage in your life. So your higher expanded self is encouraging you to not let these things close off your heart chakra to the possibility of a great love for yourself, a great love for another person. The frequency of the heart chakra, the green flower of life, supports our capacity to love deeply and unconditionally. Its healing properties harmonize the mind and body. And this loving deeply and unconditionally is also for yourself. So I do want to continue to ground that point into this reading, that even though we're looking through the lens of romantic love, this is very much about self-love and unconditional love for yourself first. But romantic love is the lens, is the subject matter through which you are learning that. And at the end here, we have the Five of Wands, conflict, passion, competition. It's time to release some conflict. So there seems to be things lingering, especially if situations, if you were victimized, bullied by a partner, gaslighting, or whether you were the aggressor or not, or the types of arguments you had in terms of not understanding each other, not seeing eye to eye. That whole realm of conflicts in your most intimate relationships is something that is calling to be examined at this time. Let's see what's happening in your tangible physical reality. Go to your 3D and see what situations are coming. or existing in your physical reality for the purpose of your expansion. We have the Sun in reverse. We have the Ten of Swords in reverse. We have the Page of Wands in reverse and the Fool in the upright. Okay. So a lot of, and the Four of Swords upright at the bottom of the deck. So it feels like there's some areas in your life that are kind of slow moving. I feel that you don't necessarily feel seen in the environments that you're most frequently in. People don't see you for the fullness of you, but I also feel that it's because you don't see yourself, as you see more of your earthly self than your spiritual self. And you may also be looking for partners from that perspective, or you have entertained partners in the past from that perspective about, it may only be based on how you look, what you're able to provide them, whether it's sexual stimulation or material things, or, you have a certain status and people like to be affiliated with you. Your partners like to enjoy the benefits of being with someone with such status, for example. And so I feel that you have a lot of situations in your life, past and present, that as this picture shows, prioritize the 3D over the light within. And then the Ten of Swords. I feel like you're resisting the upright, which is kind of, if you look at it, kind of dramatic and hitting the rock bottom. So you may be being or dishonest with yourself about where you are emotionally. And I feel in the past, there's some rock bottom moments that you didn't let be rock bottom moments. And so it's hanging out in your vibration and it's coming into your reality in other ways. And that could be, so they're specifically also pointing me to the situation of a partnership where certain conflict was never quite resolved. So if you're in a partnership or have recently ended one, there seems to be something open still, like an open question, things unsaid, an elephant in the room if you're still living with the person or with the person. But there's a conflict or a disappointment, a sadness that you are avoiding really feeling and really processing. and really discussing out loud with who you need to discuss it with, or even with yourself. Because the Page of Wands is like, I'm still feeling there's just, how do I move forward from this place? And part of the reason why you don't know how to move forward from the place that you're at is because you're not acknowledging where you are at. And I feel the energy of taking things a little too, like the ego being too involved, taking things too personally, flying off the handle, walking into situations like amped up and defensive, as opposed to really thinking like, what do I really want to get out of this situation right now? If I have this conversation or this argument, if I do this action in this relationship, why am I doing that? And what do I hope to get out of it? So like, you can lean into your hot temperament and want to, let's say, okay, let me go back. Be careful of taking action that is because you want to control the situation or you want to come out on top. Be very careful about that in the next 3 months. When you walk into a conflict or a truth-telling, or be aware of what your heart really desires to get out of the situation. Right? So if someone hurts you, don't hurt them back just to be tit for tat, right? What do you really want? If you want their respect, or if you don't get their respect, then they need to get out of your life, then that's what you need to say, and you don't necessarily have to be toxic about it, right? You don't have to create more karma and more drama around it. That's also something. This is the next 3 months is for you, and here's the Fool. The next 3 months is for you to clear karma and start afresh. So be aware of not creating new karma by letting your ego drive certain actions, actions and reactions. Let's go to the advice for bridging the 3D and the 5D. Take the Moon. It's Cancer. I usually don't equate things to, oh, okay, they want those 4. I usually don't equate things to the signs, but that one just like came out. I don't usually talk about which signs equate to which, or correspond with each tarot card, but that one just like came out. So perhaps it means something to someone out there. And then you have the Devil in the upright, Capricorn, 9 of Wands, and the 4 of Pentacles. I feel like you need another one. And the 6 of Cups. Sure. So how to navigate the 3D, how to bridge the 3D and the 5D. So this situation of you not feeling seen and prioritizing your 3D over your more expansive light body or soulful self is partially because you need to acknowledge more like the undercurrents of your soul, your emotions, what you're really feeling. Because what you're feeling, your emotions are signaling to you as well when the world around you or how you're acting in the world is out of alignment with your soul's vibration. Because remember, we have the vibration card here. That's when you feel discord and disharmony. And often also when you try to jump and take control of situations so that it fits what the box that you have already created for yourself. You need to expand your idea of who you are, or expand your understanding of who you are. And how do you do that? You're going to have to look really kind of honestly at what drives you, what motivates you to act the way you act, or act the way you have acted. Once again, I am being drawn back to everything being looked at through the lens of your most intimate relationships, whether you're in a relationship now or not. Really look deeply at your motivations. And some of it may be, not so pretty to look at, right? You may have betrayed yourself in the past or self-sabotaged yourself in the past, but that's fine. Why is it fine? Because you can move forward from that point once you acknowledge that that's what happened, or that what was happening at that time, and that's where you were at in your life at that time. Now you have the choice for it to be something completely different, right? If you so desire it to be. And but also be aware that a lot of you in this Sagittarius North Node family, as I said, are off track to the point where there is intervention. And this intervention is not me. It may feel shocking and disorienting to you, but they need you to love yourself more. Like, this is the energy that keeps coming through. They really need you to love yourself more. The Nine of Wands is feeling to me that, yes, you may be at the point where you feel like you can't take anymore. Some of you have been going through like the same situation over and over again. Same type of relationships turning out the same way. But you also need to be enlightened, right, by this flame of, I can see from now the higher perspective, the pattern, and I am ready to take the lesson to heart. And some of the things that you've experienced, there's a good amount of them that are karmic, and you have signed up for that burden, let's say. And that's not to discount or belittle any type of hardships that you may have experienced in a relationship, and any type of pain that you may have experienced in a relationship. It's meant to empower you to attract new types of relationships, or types of relationships that really honor you on a more holistic level, on a more multi-dimensional level, where the people you're with really see you for who you are. Because Sagittarius North Node is also, Sagittarius is a knowledge-seeking sign. Right? They like travel, and they dabble in different hobbies and different intellectual pursuits and different lifestyles even. So I'm getting the feeling from this also that some of you may travel. And Sagittarius is a fire sign, so there's a lot of passion behind it. And right now, that Sagittarius energy is going on an inner journey, through examining your external world. And then we have the Four of Pentacles and the Six of Cups. I feel with the Four of Pentacles, you need to be careful of giving away what's most precious to you, giving away your energy, giving away your good vibes in remembering or replaying situations in your head, replaying victim stories, martyrdom. That all needs to be, you need to protect yourself from yourself, and change the narrative. And I'm getting from the Six of Cups that it's time for you to really look at your journey. Look at your journey of who you were then and who you are now. This will also help you to refresh, renew, and that's the gift of the higher perspective as well, is to congratulate yourself for how far you've come and to acknowledge that this is not a journey where you're going to end up perfect at the end, right? You weren't perfect then, you're not perfect now, you're not going to be perfect at the end. The best that you can do is continue to act from a, let's call it a noble place, right? Where you honor yourself and you can honor the other person. And if, sometimes people will be disappointed, but you didn't necessarily, there's a difference between disappointing people and going into situations where you purposely manipulate to get to what you want from somebody. So it's really, really a time for self-evaluation and being really honest with yourself. And in that honesty with yourself, also allowing yourself to, love yourself regardless. So I'm going to go to your alchemy cards now. We have, who's first in line? Oh, we got two of them here. So we have the Drowned King. Now we have Darkening and Autumn. And one more. Oops, which one? Those three fell out, but I'm going to take the one that came upright, face up, which is spring. Oh, that's awesome. So, you got to skip winter. That's it. So, the Drowned King. Your ego is going to be an issue the next 3 months. How is it going to be an issue? It's going to be very challenging for you, because looking at some of these relationships, your ego is going to not want to, let's say, acknowledge its role or in how things played out. But it can be very empowering if you can step back from the details and really take it as, you don't have to have these discussions with anybody. This is between you and your higher self, your soul, your guides, right? That's it. And your guides are not judging you. They know that that you're on earth doing this great assignment of, remembering the light of who you are. And the ego will always play a role, but there is, you cannot be blindly led by it. And your ego has created a story that is not serving you anymore. And that has to change. Darkening, I feel you are, looking into some of the more shadowy parts of yourself. I mean, it comes into play with the moon as well. I don't want to set you up for, oh, you're going to have some dark moments in the next 3 months, but with the darkening and autumn next to each other, there will be some diving into, especially around these cards underneath here where you have the conflict and the Ten of Swords in reverse. Yeah, there's some ish you have to deal with that is not necessarily pretty. But the card of autumn is like, you may have right now be, let's say, vibrant and fully functioning. I don't have another word for it right now. But the autumn is about the tree's willingness to drop everything that it has built, that it has grown. It's been thriving and it's preparing for winter, right? And it trusts that the sun and the weather will return. It trusts that spring will return, right? The vibration of release is very important for you right now. The willingness to release these things that are holding you. The willingness to see them and the willingness to let them go. Because at the end of it all, you have the great ability. You have the Fool card, you have the Creation card, you have Spring. The great ability for new harvest, new foundations, a very bright future, emotional future as well. And you're going to go into this darker, the darker corners of your self-image and your experiences in order to come out in the spring with a fresh energy for a fresh start. But it all starts with, you really need to know the intentions behind your actions and not be pulled by your ego's need to control everything and control how you are seen, right? Because underneath that is a fragile self-image that your guides want you to address. These messages came a lot quicker than I had anticipated. I'm pulling final oracle. Let's see. Do you want a second one? I have the feeling that the second one may be in order. So the first one is Waking the Lion, and the second is Feeling the World. I'm just going to read directly from the guidebook for these closing comments. Okay. Waking the Lion. Key concepts are boldness, the courage to move forward even without knowing the way, facing that which is difficult or painful, the audacity to step into the unknown. Regardless of the outer conditions right now, you can't wait for your fear to lessen before you move forward. In fact, despite the chaos and seeming disarray, you must be bold. Whatever your trepidation, act as if you have deep trust that all will be well. Nothing is promised to you, but you will never truly see magic if you don't take the risk. Come to the edge of certainty in your life and leap into the unknown. You have no guarantee of immediate success. Still, you must summon your bravery in the face of possible pain, failure, or even success and your own power, and own your power. The act of making this leap, no matter the final outcome, awakens the lion within. Be proud of who you are and who you are becoming. No one can take this away from you. What type of courage is called for today? Only you know, and only you have the power to choose your path. Know that it takes just as much strength and bravery to love and be vulnerable as it does to confront a personal challenge or physical obstacle. So call on your strength and stand your ground, or consciously temper your emotional reactions. Do nothing and trust in your partnership with the divine. Whatever your choice, you will not fail as long as you act with courage and integrity. Acting with courage and integrity, tempering your emotional reactions. We discussed all of that. So I'll let the rest of that message resonate with you as it will. And then I will read Feeling the World. Key concepts are sensitivity to the feelings of others, awareness of the whole world and a broader perception, empathy overload, and overwhelm. Empathy reminds you that you are not alone. It is a beautiful capacity to feel the connectivity all around you, giving you a profound sense of belonging, a broader experience of being part of the larger whole. That said, it can also be overwhelming, especially when you don't know where you end and the rest of the world begins. Now is the time to be clear about your boundaries. Ask yourself whose energy you've tuned into. You might find it's not even yours. If you're feeling off or drained when you're with someone, they may be siphoning your energy. In such an instance, this connection is not good for you, no matter how charismatic the person is or how attracted to them you feel. Do not mistake codependency for closeness or allow your boundaries to become too porous. Trust your instincts and take care of you. Practice saying no. Avoid the temptation to turn off and go numb. Instead, be present. Somewhere in the middle of this feeling spectrum is where the magic is. You're also being asked now to be aware of how your words and actions may affect others. While it's not your job to determine how someone will respond to you, discernment is necessary. Be firm yet kind. Keep in mind that people-pleasing will not give you what you truly need. That said, your empathy is beautiful and important. It just has to be balanced in order for you to access its wonderful gifts. Today, celebrate the beauty of your sensitivity and that of others. Yes, they do want me to expand on this one. So as we talked about, you looking into your past relationships, intimate relationships, current relationships. It's important to look at your boundaries, the boundaries that you set or did not set. It's important to look at whether you chose to be firm yet kind or to be cruel. And this is just about, as we said, not about blame. It's about being honest with yourself. You could also be honest about if you are very much an empath, you take on a lot of other people's energy and may be susceptible to gaslighting. That is people telling you that you are at fault for, you are the reason that things feel the way they feel, or, they're not toxic, you're just too sensitive or whatever. Those are things. So specifically for some of you out there, those need to be looked at, those elements of your relationships. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. So thank you so much, Sagittarius North Node. I will be back in the months in between for just little updates for you. And then the next 3-month reading I'll do for December, January, February. So, yeah, until then, I wish you all the best, and I'll see you next time. Take care, be well, and stay blessed. Bye for now.